Good morning. Today is Sunday, May 4th, and I've had, I think about 7 people message me now asking for this video. Here we go. This is my version of the inside-outside theory, or how we achieve teleportation. And I want to give the credit to Jay. I don't know his last name. I had never even heard of the inside-outside theory prior to seeing his videos. And at the exact same time, I saw the flight, what was it, like MS-13 or something like that, the airliner that disappeared that they teleported like 10 years ago. And so when I first saw his design, and obviously he wouldn't say what anything actually was and just kept pointing to things, and then he deleted all his material and left TikTok pretty quickly. I did reach out to him at the time that he made the video to try to explain to him what I was seeing, because I didn't think that he could identify exactly what it was, and maybe he was asking for help, but he just kind of blew me off. So I was like, okay, well, I tried, and I'm gonna give you my version here. First off, I think, again, so many things are synchronicities for me, and I think I was definitely probably meant to see this. Who else on all of TikTok do you have talking about vortex mathematics, energy signatures, and how the Fibonacci sequence makes this capital cursive L type of shape, or a spiral, right? But it's kind of like offset. If you ever look at the DNA, it's kind of offset just a little bit. When I saw that first diagram, the 3 overlapping 8s, the video that I drew that had the 3 8s that intersect in the center, and they're not necessarily 8s, but when I saw that, and the way that things work for me is when I look at something and I'm trying to figure it out, I get these like flashes of how it works energetically. And then I try to figure out how it actually works. So I see it, and then I try to figure out exactly how it works. And that's how I've always done things for at least the last 10 years. And so that's just kind of how it works with me. So let's go to the picture. Okay, I was showing you this here, and I showed you a paper clip that I had made into a spiral, and I wanted you to see that this was 2-dimensional. But if we look at something 3-dimensional that's coming in, so it's coming in from the top going down, all right? So all of creation is a spiral, and everything that is created comes down from higher dimensions, and it comes in spirals, these golden ratio spirals, right? And the spiral of creation. This is what I'm drawing here. It's the exact same thing. I was trying to show you that here, looking at it 2-dimensional is the same as here. Or if I was to take a string and spin it like this, you would see this. And I could overlap that string here, that L shape, because this is 2-dimensional, we would be 3-dimensional, right? So it's spinning, so it overlaps. So when I saw that, this right here, I immediately knew that this was 3 individualized strands of these golden ratio frequencies that were combining into one point. And how did I know that? Because I saw it immediately. I saw it, and I saw exactly how it worked. As soon as I saw this, because of the energy or the vortex mathematics and all the things that I talk about here, I immediately recognized it. And then boom, I had the flash. Now let me show you what the flash looked like. All right, so when I saw the portal, what I saw was when they started to prime it, and you had these 3 individual strands, that's why here I said just one of these for the 3rd dimension are pulling in these golden ratio strands, these frequencies, right? So when I saw it in the flash of my mind, I saw this, I saw these three coming in that created this shape, the three overlapping, and then it started to prime the portal itself. And the very tip of the bottom of each side of the realm or parallel universe went to touch this portal. And then that's what kind of starts the forming of it. And then what I saw happen was this side here, the wide side here, and this wide side here, what they do is when these two things are prime and you have these three and they hit the harmonic resonance, the frequency, then these big pieces here at the end, they collapse. They go in this way. And then these two big pieces, they come in and form this whole, and then they share one singularity. That one singularity is what allows it. So these two big parts, the end of the vortexes, at first it starts with this and then they collapse. Both these come together like this. And that is what creates that. And what was I trying to show you with all the dolphins and the birds? And I told you that it looks like chaos to everybody else. This looks like chaos to everybody else, but it's not chaos. When a bird flaps its wings, it's literally making a perfect golden ratio. And when I told you, and I said, you know, all these little cursive L's going everywhere, capital cursive L's going everywhere. And I said, we think birds fly because they're flapping their wings, but birds fly because they match the frequency. Their wing is doing a golden ratio, the L motion. It hits that and it gets in resonance. Oh, are we starting to get it? The dolphins, I showed the portal video, right? It's how they move in the water. They're creating the priming of the vortex, right? I told you about the portals in Yemen and how they use that, right? I was talking about the OA, right? The OA, how do we go into parallel worlds? Remember the quantum well video I shared with the scientist talking about the speakers and how he said he had discovered at least 3 parallel realities and how he did it, right? How did they do it in the OA? They were matching the movements of the animals. And why were they doing that? So they could create the actual motion, the frequency, to open the portal, and when they do them simultaneously, it triggers the key. That's why I said the key was the golden ratio, was the fib, or the phi sequence, not necessarily the fib, but the phi. And then the other thing, so the reason that it's always going to happen over water as well is because it is reflecting back. So whenever you're going to open up a portal, you would always want to do it over the largest body of water because it's a mirror. And so that parallel world needs to be able to copy as much space and see as much space as it is to match it to the closest world that you're going to be going into. That was what makes it a parallel world. The doors that are carved in the mountains that seem to go nowhere, no, they go somewhere, but they did that with a tool similar to the Ankh or the Ankh itself. The Ankh pulls frequency into it. And I believe, and I don't know how I know this, maybe I've seen some, I don't know, but in ancient times, they would use sound resonance. And what they would do with the Ankh, if they needed to move something or make the weight of a piece of matter change, like a huge stone, they would sing in pure tone frequencies, just like they use these pure tones to open up the portals. And I believe that those carved mountains that have those doors that seem to go nowhere are actually doors. You just have to match the 3 strands of the golden ratio to hit the portal, to create the initial priming, to collapse the 2 ends and create the singularity. It's all in the motion, and everything is within the motion itself. That's the shortest version I can do. Hope you have a blessed day. Namaste.